Okay, so 203, we're on 203C, which is 21 to 37 odd. And we're going to be using operations on functions and then plugging in numbers. Okay, so this is pretty simple. Let me show you two different ways to do it. And depending on the problem or your preference, it will determine how you decide to do this. So 22 says, what is f plus g of 10? So I can calculate f plus g, which is x squared plus 10 plus the square root of x minus 11. Can I simplify that at all? Do I have any like terms? No, I don't. So now I need to plug in 10. Oh, x minus 1, not 11. So, does it matter whether I put f first or g first when I'm adding? No. Does it matter if you're subtracting? Yes. Does it matter when you're multiplying? No. Does it matter when you're dividing? Yeah. So addition and multiplication commute. Division and subtraction don't. So I'm going to plug in 10. Stick 10 in there, and I get 100 plus 10 plus the square root of 9, which is 3, which is 113. Okay. Let me do same sort of thing's going to happen with 24. Let's look at 26. Okay, 26. X squared plus 10 times the square root of x minus 1. So I need to distribute x squared square root of x minus 1 plus 10 square root of x minus 1. Now I need to plug in, what number is it? 5. So plug in 5 there. 25 times 5 minus 1 is 4, and the square root of 4 is 2, plus 10 times 5 minus 1 is 4, square root of 4 is 2. So 50 plus 20 is 70. Now, in my opinion, that's a waste of your time. What I would do is use the property that f times g of 4 is equivalent to f of 4 times g of 4. What's the difference there? You didn't multiply the two equations, you just plug the numbers in and then multiply the answers. So if you plug 4 in there, or 5 in there, 25 plus 10 is 35, and plug 5 in there, square root of 4 is 2, and I get 70. So if you're going to be using the function f times g a lot, then you'll want to combine the equations. But if you're just doing a single number, it's usually better to just plug the number into the first equation, plug the number into the second equation, and then perform the operation separately. Does that make sense? Now, the only tricky ones are something like 34. So 34, g of f of 0. Which function do I plug into which function? Plug f into g. And that's the same thing as saying g circle f of 0. You always plug the second one into the first one. So I'm going to take the function f, this, and stick it in there. So x squared plus 10, and I'm going to square root that and subtract 1. So this gives me the square root of x squared minus 9. Can I simplify that? Well, this factors into x plus 3 and x minus 3. Can I square root that? No. If it was x plus 3 squared, then I could. But that doesn't go any further. So let's plug 0 in here. 0 minus 9 is negative 9. Square root of negative 9 would be 3i. Do I need a minus 3i? The only time you get a minus 3i is if it's x squared equals negative 9. And then when we square root, eliminating that x deletes the negative version, and we have to stick it back in. So this is just 3i. Okay? Well, can I do it the other way without looking at the composition of the two functions? Can I just plug in 0 and follow it through? Yes, as long as you do it correctly. So according to this, where do I plug the 0? Into f. So if I stick 0 in there, what do I get? So 0 squared plus 10 is 10. And if I plug 10 in there, does that give me the same number? So what did we do wrong? Well, we got to follow. So this says put 0 into f, and then put that answer into g. So if I stick a 0 in for f, I get 0 plus 10 equals 10. And now I take that 10 and stick it in there. 10 minus 1 is 9, and the square root of 9 is 3. But that's not the answer I got on the other side. Okay, nobody noticed that. Here's my mistake. This should be a plus 9. So if I plug 0 in here, 0 plus 9 gives me 3. So it actually does work. I just made a mistake the first time around, and nobody, including myself, caught it. So it doesn't matter how you do it. Either you compose the functions in hopes that the equation ends up being something really simple and then plug in 0, or whatever number you're looking for, or you plug 0 into the inside function, take that answer and plug it into the outside function, and it would work. So if we look at 36, if I'm sticking g into f, should I compose that to start, or should I plug root 7 into the f function and then plug that? Oh, I got that backwards. Sorry. We're going to plug f into g. Should I plug in root 7 now and then stick the answer into g, or should I plug x squared plus 10 back into? So if we plug that in, we're going to get the same thing we got last time, the square root of x squared plus 9. And then I'm going to plug in root 7. What is the square of root 7? 7, and 7 plus 9 would be 16, and the square root of 16 is 4. Or I take that root 7 and I stick it in here. What is the square of root 7? 7 plus 10 would be 17, and 17 minus 1 would be 16, and the square root of 16 is 4. So it doesn't matter how you do them. You're gonna get the same answer both ways. Okay? All right. Good luck.